going on, everybody? What is going on, Brad? How are you today, man?
What's up, Mike? Welcome back, man. Excited to be here today.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Let's pop out another episode. We've got the Crypto Takeover podcast for you guys. So what are we on? Episode 6, I think, right?
Yeah.
So moving along, we've had some really good feedback from people. If you haven't left us either a rating or review, click that like or subscribe. We would love for you to do so. We've had some awesome feedback from people who have gotten some great value out of this. So we love to hear that feedback. That is what we are trying to accomplish. So we greatly appreciate you guys listening in and catching this crypto wave, whether you're on the very front end or whether you've been in it for years. So we've got kind of the full spectrum there of listeners. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's
right?
Just having fun, joining this and learning about this space. And so having fun while you're doing it. And it's exciting times, man. This is exciting times in crypto right now.
100%.
I mean, there's people that said, hey, I missed the crypto wave. I missed it. Man, you are getting your opportunity right now. So take advantage. Take advantage. These are the days that, are where crypto people that make the money in crypto, this is when they're taking advantage of the markets. So
100%.
Enjoy these low times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something we're going to talk about today, because you've got the bears that come out of the woodworks, that during these times when it's down, they're saying, oh, it's dead. There's nothing left of it. It's going to zero. Give me a break. Like, if you watch any financial market, every one of them has corrections. Every one of them.
Well, they're all having corrections right now.
Yeah, that too, right? It's like, okay, let's go talk about gold. Gold is dead. It's going to zero.
The stock market's going to zero.
You know what I mean? So, but let's pick on the new kid on the street is basically what it is, right?
Technology.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy because it's a buzzword right now for a lot of people, and so let's kind of tear that one apart, right?
For sure.
We're going to touch on some things today. We've got some news for you. We've got some just current market analysis, what's going on there. We're talking about a little bit of some of these people who are coming out and saying that it's not worth anything, and let's talk about that. So we're going to go over the fear and greed index and to look at that and just kind of give you our perspective of what to do right now and how to kind of come at this. So Brad, why don't you take this one away and pull up what you had for us today? And
awesome. Let's just take a look at the markets as of today and just see what we've got going on here. You can see I'm on Gecko. Like I say every time when I pull this up, I mean, this is where I go to check prices and things like that, besides just looking at my charts. And so I like this website a lot. It's just clean and easy to use. So you can see right now at the top, there is currently just under $1.3 trillion market cap on the crypto space right now. We had seen that drop down to 1.2 basically. I could still see it go down to 1, but who knows? We'll see where we're at. But right now we're at 1.3. Bitcoin is holding. It's holding these levels. So Bitcoin is currently just under 29. It's been kind of fluctuating between basically right under 31 and about 27. I mean, it's just kind of, fluctuating in that, space. And so it's holding this area. You can go back to last week's episode and see some support lines, but I can just show them to you. Here's the chart. Here's the growth rate from last year. Takes you to the, technical analysis wise. If you go from the old high of the market from 2017 and bring it down to the low of that bear market cycle, you get this new growth rate of this 1.618, and that brings you to this range that we just continue to sit in right here. And so if Bitcoin continues to hold this, that will stay along with what Bitcoin has done historically, which is not go below this 1618 level over over the next bear market cycle from the previous cycles.
Right.
So, that's good news. Now,
Sure.
we also didn't have the growth that we had before, so you could see this take a traditional downfall and come back down. But for right now, and that's what we're talking about right now, Bitcoin's holding that area. And so buyers are holding that zone for Bitcoin. Ethereum, same thing. It's holding around 2,000. You see Tether and USD coin are in the top 5 right now. A lot of money moving into stable coins, guys, during this bear market. Cardano is back, in this area, XRP. You see some of these things, Luna obviously moved out, but some of these other coins that had moved up into this top 10 have bounced back out. And now you're starting to see some of the ones that were in the top 10 before emerge again as top 10 coins after that previous bull cycle that we just went through. So XRP, is holding, Cardano, Solana is holding a top 10 spot, even though that they're, hovering around 48. And then you see Polkadot just below here at just under $10. So the old Dogecoin is rounding up the top 10. So,
It's
never
crazy,
be afraid
man.
of the Doge.
It's so wild to me that coin has so much money in it. Like,
it's nuts, right?
It
nuts.
is wild, man. Who knows? I mean, maybe good old Elon, is just gonna make this thing come to life with Twitter and that whole deal going on.
Who knows, man?
Who knows, right?
Yeah, we'll see what even Elon's doing with Twitter right now. I mean, that's like a whole nother story.
Yeah, it really is.
But you can see over the past 7 days, here's your top movers. You've got, Phantom is seen a nice recovery this week at 28% or 22.8%. Monero, Tron, Loopring, Aave. Aave is a huge DeFi coin. It's a staking platform, lending. So this is a big DeFi play in the space. It's been sitting at really low lows. And so you've seen it have a nice little bounce back is good. Uniswap, another, DEX here, a decentralized exchange. Getting a little bit, but man, like this had ran up to, almost $50, so seeing almost the same prices on some of these coins as you did before the bull run cycle hit. So, right. I mean, I remember picking this up around $2 originally, I think, in December of 2020. So, quite a big move there. And some of these other coins. So that's kind of your top movers and shakers. And then we flop this around, we see on the downside, guys, there's that Terra USD, just getting, dumped every day. And Terra, they're obviously the big losers. And then you see, Decentraland, Mana, it's 16% down this week. So, under $1. Big metaverse coin. So interesting to see. Near Protocol,
opportunity,
another interesting one. Yeah. Near Protocol, guys, this is another interesting one. See it down. Near Protocol kind of has like, I believe similar functionality as Terra. So I've heard some people talking about in news, watch this to see if it has issues, as another blockchain protocol. And so things like that. And then the ApeCoin, got to talk about ApeCoin, right? So ApeCoin down 11% over the past 7 days. It had gotten back up into the $8 range.
Now, I mean, I think what's important, to remember is what are all the, in times like these, is what are all these projects doing, right? And,
yes, 100%.
So what are they trying to accomplish? Let's remember why they got to where they were in the first place, and right. So. And then you start to think, oh, okay, all right, well, the market's just down right now. let me remember what XRP is actually accomplishing in this world, right? You know, from a payment system standpoint. Let me remember what Sandbox is doing from a gaming standpoint, you know, and for the metaverse, right?
Yep.
Let me remember what Solana's doing from a fee standpoint and another, you know, outside of Ethereum, you know, a blockchain technology that's solving another issue. You know, what are all these doing to help the collective?
Is it a lending protocol? Is it like a DeFi hub? You know, is it a decentralized exchange? You know, what are these different coins represent? Because just like when you do your stock trading analysis, if you're a stock trader, or, you know, maybe you have a mutual fund of, you know, this mix of assets, you know, all those things represent companies that are doing different things. Same thing with crypto. And so like understanding what all these different things are doing, you know, represents why you would choose to invest in them. And if you see that, you know, some of these coins that are down right now are projects that you're like, hey, I see the value in that, you have some really great opportunities. And so, and the other thing is, you know, we're talking about, you know, having opportunity right now when we kind of started the show today. And so I would just say, hey, you know, 5 years from now, because most people invest for like the long haul. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people get in the crypto space and they think they're going to become a millionaire tomorrow. Or they're going to turn, you know, $1,000 into $100,000 overnight because, you know, they look at crypto like a lottery ticket. I don't look at crypto like a lottery ticket. And so like, you know, I look at it in a long-term investment. And so if you are looking at crypto as a long-term investment, I mean, let's say you started dollar cost averaging Bitcoin right now, and maybe it continues to drop. Maybe it's at 30,000, but it drops down to 10,000. Well, 5 years from now, that's not going to make much difference. That's not going to make much difference.
Yeah, don't get discouraged.
All of these prices, even if you bought it at 60, all of these prices are going to be good prices 5-10 years down the road. And that you're setting your family up, you're setting your finances up for the future through this, and not just, hey, how can I make money today? So it just depends on your approach, obviously, but that's, you know, it's a great time to get involved in this space right now, for sure.
100%. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just what Brad's saying, let's say you get in right now and you buy some things, you're like, man, these are great prices, this is great, and it continues to go down. Nobody can predict whether it's going to bounce right at this level that it's at, and then it's going to go up and do its all-time highs. You know, there's people on both camps, right? There's people that saying we could go down to 20, there's people that saying we could go down to 10, and then there's people saying that we hit our support and we're going back up. You know, it's hard to tell. So with that said, if you getting in the market right now, you've got some capital, you're ready to do some investing, you get in, and let's say it goes down to 20, right? I'm talking from a Bitcoin standpoint, because Bitcoin is typically the driver of the whole market, and then Ethereum follows, and the rest of the altcoins, you know, kind of follow what it does, right?
Absolutely.
They just move a lot more with the altcoins up and down, and Ethereum, and then into Bitcoin. So let's say you get in and Bitcoin goes down to 20. Don't get discouraged because you're like, oh, shoot, you know, I should have waited. And yeah, we can all say that. We've all, you know, if you've been in this space for any amount of time.
Absolutely.
You know? But you still are getting in at amazing prices, right? And that's why, you know, I say, remember what these projects are doing over the long term. Yeah, can you make $100,000 overnight in certain things? Yes, but don't get into this thinking that's what is going to happen, you know, and get into this like this is a technology that is changing our entire financial sector, and that doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes time. It takes systems to get into place and companies to be created, and, you know, all these different things to be created over time, right? So let's remember that. So don't get discouraged if your portfolio goes down over the next few months, you know, just because we are seemingly in a bear market, you know, right now. Let's remember to zoom out and think about the big picture. Which kind of brings me to, I want to share an article.
Let's go over some news. What's going on in the markets?
Right. So let's get with this. Where am I at here? All right. So one thing, I'm just going to show this crypto fear and greed index. This is, we kind of talked about this, I think in episode 1 or 2, maybe. And this just kind of gauges the whole market sentiment, right? And it's based on a number of factors, but a lot of people look at this and tell you kind of where the overall market is at. And they have fear and greed indexes for a number of different indices. But this is the one for crypto. And currently we're in extreme fear. We're at a 12. Yesterday we were at a 10. Last week we were at an 8. So we are very, very, close to just kind of being off the scale, from a fear standpoint.
Crypto's going to zero.
Exactly. And so what that does is it's meant to scare people out of the market. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you're grounded and you believe and you're started, maybe you just started a few weeks ago, right? Man, welcome. You are in an amazing time to get in and start learning and understanding what this space is doing for technology and the financial markets. And I'm glad you're here. So extreme fear. We're freaking out right now. What is this? What is going on? And so that's what this is kind of gauging. And there are powerful and well-educated and very, very experienced investors that will teach you to buy the fear, sell the greed. Okay. Yep. And another one is buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay. So those are kind of give you some gauges here, because people are freaking out and they're selling, and the retail investors are selling, and they're scared to get in right now and whatnot. But this is where the great opportunities lie, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to show that fear and greed index. And then I wanted to touch on, there's a great site called Decrypt, and they have some just overall news every day coming out with headlines and stuff like that. But there was this one that came out, European Central Bank Chief, crypto assets, quote unquote, worth nothing. Okay. Let's break that down. So this was something that was created back 12, 14 years ago, 2008. The first Bitcoin white paper kind of comes out around that time. And we have watched since then the adoption and the value of Bitcoin and then the overall markets in general rise over time. We touched on this in the past 2 episodes, and Brad broke down the market and he zoomed out for you and have showed you what has happened to the Bitcoin value over its entire history, right? And when you zoom out, it has risen the entire time. Okay. Yeah, we have the ups and downs, and we're in a bear market now, and just strap in, grab some popcorn, it's going to be a bumpy ride. This stuff just doesn't happen overnight. But to come out, this right here is why I showed you the fear and greed index. Okay. They're trying to cause you fear. And I guarantee you there are other people within the European Central Bank that are probably buying into these markets right now. Okay. And they don't want you to do so. That's my personal opinion. Okay. Yep. That's just what I feel. And that this type of article, not necessarily from Decrypt, but they're just a news, venue, right? Getting you what is being said in the markets from certain angles. Okay. So they talk about with crypto markets coming to grips with potentially another crypto winter. Okay. Crypto winter is a lovely term. Crypto winter to me says, ooh, nice. We got some sales going on, right? But many of the industry's long-standing critics have taken the opportunity to add fuel to the fire. Okay, so they're just trying to scare you out of these markets, okay? Don't let this type of news, I see these and like my eyes light up. It's like, oh, here we go again kind of thing, right? So don't let this scare you out of getting into some really awesome positions that potentially 100%. Even 6 months to a year from now, or 2 to 5 years from now, you're going to look back and
oh yeah,
definitely be looking at your portfolio if you kept it that long,
Yeah.
and be
Well,
very happy.
and let me say something real quick to that. Choose investments that are good investments too, though. Like if you're buying like, meme coins and random metaverse projects or just play to earn games and that's all you're doing, that kind of stuff might not exist.
Sure.
But if you're buying the major things right now, which is what you should do if you're going to be dollar cost averaging during a bear market, when you're buying like the sure bet stuff, like, and I say sure bet, like, but like in the stock world, you would be buying like Walmart and Coca-Cola and Amazon and Tesla, they're blue chips, right? You're going to go buy the blue chips. Don't go buy like, Susie's donut store stock right now, so don't go buy like, random, meme coin that has a dog's face on it,
Right.
like pick the stuff that you feel most confident is going to be around 10 years from now, that is changing these markets, that's going to be a part of this, move to digital currency around the world and decentralized finance. That's what you want to be investing in. So, be clear in what you choose to invest in, because, obviously there's going to be things that aren't around 10 years from now.
Yeah, for sure. So there's another line in this article. She said, so this is the chief, bank chief, the European Central Bank chief, okay? And she's saying that crypto investments should only be made.
Sounds very important person.
Yeah, she does. She sounds very, very high up there, right? And maybe she is in her own right,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to come out and speak about something that maybe she doesn't have the overall holistic knowledge, and maybe she just doesn't believe in it, very possibly. Or maybe she feels like if crypto gets adopted, well, what happens to my central bank? I'll just give you that to sit on for the week, and you can thank me later. So she said that crypto investments should only be made by people who have their eyes wide open about the fact that they can lose it all. I mean, it's gone down by 20% last week. Okay. Give me a second here. So now I'm pulling up the SPX.
Isn't it funny how all of the institutions want to tell all of the normal people how we're too dumb to invest? I mean,
right?
It's for your safety. You have to have, you have to be an accredited investor to be able to, buy into our fund or be able to do it. You have to already have all this money, because you're too dumb to use your money unless, you fit into our guidelines.
Terrible. Walk this straight line. Do not deviate from it. It's basically what they're telling you, right? So I pulled up the SPX, okay, which is stock market in US, and it's an indices that kind of gives you the whole holistic picture for the stock market, okay, S&P index. And if we take our measurement tool here from March 28th to May 16th, it dropped almost 20%. Okay, that's almost 20% in a market that's been around for eons. Okay, I don't know when Brad, do you know when the S&P 500 was created? I don't. We'd have to look that up. But this is something that's been around for eons and eons and eons. It's not as considered as volatile as a brand new asset class that was just created in the past decade and a half. Okay. And it dropped almost 20% in 49 days, per this measurement tool. So less than 2 months.
It launched in 1957.
1957. So it's been around for 70 years, give or take. Okay. So to come out and say that by people who have had their eyes wide open about the fact that they can lose it all. Okay? Well, it did the same thing. Yeah, it did it in a week because it's only been around for a fraction of the time. Okay? And newer investments like this are going to be volatile until they find their place in the market. Okay.
Well,
And what is crypto doing right now? It's finding its place in the market. So I've got
yes.
another chart here that I'm showing Brad. Bitcoin versus Ethereum, number of addresses with non-zero balances. And the reason I pulled this up is because it's a good chart that kind of shows an adoption of crypto over time. Okay, Bitcoin is your main kind of store of value. It was the first, and then Ethereum has come out, a few years later, and it's kind of the vehicle for moving money around. And then there's other blockchains, being built either on top of as like layer 2 solutions and layer 3 solutions, or there's other, blockchains being created just on their own. Okay. But what this shows you is a graph that started. This graph started in 2009. Okay, Bitcoin's creation, right? And it's slow. 2014, 2015, 2016 starts picking up. 2017, 2018, huge spike. Okay, up to 28 million users. Okay, and then it came down. It had a little bit of a correction. Okay, and now it is back up, having another rise, and then it had another spike 2021 to 2022, and we're up around close to 40 million users now. Okay, and if you look at Ethereum's, from 2015 of its creation to 2017, it was kind of flatline. Everybody's like, okay, what is this? Very early adopters trying to figure this thing out, and then it just skyrocketed. From mid 2017 to now, it added 60 million users in that small amount of time, right? And we showed you a graph, if you can Google this as well, but a technology adoption curve is a really neat graph to look at. And you look at different technologies that have been adopted over time. And this is just a perfect depiction of that, because Bitcoin is a store of value, but Ethereum is actually like a way of it's a game changer in moving money and creating the NFT marketplace and the metaverse. And it's kind of the backbone of all of those types of things. And that's where kind of the birth of all the other blockchains have come out of that as well. So you kind of I look at ETH as, more of adoption of the actual crypto market, as a whole.
Right.
Right. And Bitcoin kind of as the staple store of value, kind of thing. So to see this adoption curve from mid 2017 just skyrocket, and within 5 years, actually, this article is actually mid 2021. So there's actually a year here that we don't even have on this chart specifically. So if you look up current users, this actually might be a lot higher. But that adoption curve, for people that are going to tell me, yeah, we're in extreme fear, showing this fear and greed index, and people that tell me you could lose it all. I mean, it's gone down by 20% last week. Yeah, because it's only been around for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, give it some time. Go back to why this was created and what it's accomplishing in the marketplace.
Well, and still so many people don't even know about it.
Exactly.
You think about like, well, how many Americans even are involved in crypto, and you can Google that and you'll find all kinds of different answers. The Fed report says that 12% of American adults have used cryptocurrency in 2021. You can see stats. Some people say up to 20% of Americans have now invested in crypto, whether that's like they bought some on Robinhood or whatever.
Right.
It's steadily going up. The same report says that it's just under 8% of Americans had owned cryptocurrency in 2018. That went up to 14% in 2019, 23% in 2021. I don't believe that the numbers are that high. I think that's like just off of probably a pretty good poll of more millennial type people, but the numbers are climbing, and so adoption is happening for sure.
And that's what you've got to remember in these bear markets. Okay, like if the adoption curve isn't going down, why don't we compare that? Right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about adoption for a second. Let's talk about adoption for a second, because, I mean, we're sharing some news and stuff right now. As far as adoption is concerned, you've got more and more companies every day that are coming out with saying they're accepting Bitcoin as payment. The watch company Takeover, they're now accepting Bitcoin on their website.
Yep.
You've got more legalization of Bitcoin and crypto around the world. It's going through different countries. El Salvador, Bitcoin City, El Salvador, the big country that's been really hyped up about Bitcoin adoption. They met with 44 other countries this week, or scheduled to meet this week. I can't remember if it was last week or this week that they were actually meeting. But I mean, they're talking about how, as governments, how as countries, we can use this to build up our reserves to be better.
Yep.
You've got
look at Ripple, who so they just spent another, so Ripple is XRP if you don't know. They just spent another $100 million in a climate focused fintech and carbon reduction technology.
Yeah.
Do you think that company is going to pour in more money to a dying technology? No.
Absolutely not.
Give me a break.
Well, and then even like you look at like all these governments that are like wanting to place regulations on it. Well, they want to place regulations on it because they want to make tax money off of it.
Right.
I mean, no brainer, right?
Right.
And the central banks, they don't like it because they don't, so they want to figure out, okay, how do we make our share of the money still as well? And so like, that's why you have them speaking highly about it when they want you to buy it, and they talk bad about it when they want the price to go down, but Emirates Airlines, they're now exploring Bitcoin payment options. And then the countries that are doing it, guess what? Like El Salvador, I mentioned earlier, their tourism went up by 30% since they adopted Bitcoin. So it's like, you see all this stuff happening. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
And so, that kind of like, gives you some news. And then, talking about regulation, one of the big safe havens has been Portugal. And Portugal is all of a sudden doing a U-turn on being a crypto tax haven. I know a lot of people moved to Portugal that were big in the crypto space to protect their gains.
Sure.
And so now Portugal is exploring different taxation models. And so this came out a couple of days ago, but they are considering what different capital gains results could potentially look like on personal income taxes, etc. So interesting. I'm going to be watching how that develops. But that's another thing. As this space continues to develop, laws and regulations are going to continue to change. And so it's just part of it. But those are all things that are affecting the markets right now. And when you see this stuff in the news, the crypto fanatics, of course they don't want to see regulation. They want decentralization. They want, like, that was what this was designed for. But when those are the people that are now in the space, they're the ones moving the market, and so we have to be aware of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 44 countries just met in El Salvador a couple of weeks ago to talk about the crypto space and talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of these projects. I don't think 44 countries get together for something that isn't going to be around for a while. Right? I mean, when is the last time that many countries were in one space?
Right. Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, you look at all the big investors, they're all for it now. It's only being more adopted.
Right.
And so, get educated. That's why we do this podcast. Get educated, learn about this space, guys. And you will be able to create wealth for yourself.
100%. Well, Brad, I think we're about out of time. So I think we'll wrap this one up, man. I think we covered a lot of ground, just kind of keeping people grounded when we're in these bear markets. And honestly, one thing,
it's fun to talk about the news and what's going on,
Yeah, exactly. One thing real quick, and maybe we have another episode about this, but the one thing I've seen, like when markets are down and stuff like this, the community rallies together really well, to like remember what we're doing, remember what's going on here. And I love that, love that, love that. And I think maybe we have a whole nother episode on that, and we can get into some of these spaces that we're in, and some of these circles that kind of keep us focused on the forward, right?
I think it's fun, when you're doing stuff with other people and you're learning together, you're growing together, you're naturally going to do better than if you're doing it by yourself. And
Yep.
I think that's, the fun of this. That's why it's great having you as a friend and being able to share this journey together, and everyone
100%.
else that's jumping on board with us. So it's a lot of fun. And we can definitely dive more into that kind of stuff too. I think it's a huge part. I know we got some more events coming up, so you guys stay on the lookout for events in June.
Yes.
And I believe there's going to be a couple of local events in the DFW area in June. So just keep the lookout for that. And let's wrap it with that.
June 9th. June 9th is what we're shooting for the next Crypto and Craft Brews. So definitely come out. We had an amazing turnout last time. And that's going to be, we'll have the link in the show notes. But that is through our Meetup app. If you just search Crypto Takeover, you can find us through the Meetup app. And look for the Crypto and Craft Brews if you're in the Dallas area or plan to be around that time. Definitely come out and join us. It's a great, great time. Just people talking shop, get your questions answers, beginners to like investors making good money on the daily. So you've got the whole gambit there. Yeah. But we appreciate you tuning in, and we just thank you for taking a small amount of time out of your day to grow yourself and learn about crypto and pick up some nuggets. So we hope you got some value out of this, and we hope you guys have an awesome week, and we will catch you on the next episode.
See you guys. Make it a great day.